Welcome back to Forza Horizon 4. It is a winter wonderland here in the United Kingdom. It is another week, which means we've got another car to unlock. And this week, we are bringing it back. Cue the Toyotas. So this is the Toyota 2000 GT. Long story short, one of the greatest cars that Toyota has ever made. To get it, we need to bang out 50% in the winter season, which is kind of annoying. However, if you went and did your stuff in the summer for the McLaren Speedtail, this should only take like 10 minutes or so. Everybody is yelling at me in Twitch chat to go and check the Forzathon shop. We've got a Macan Turbo, which I really like, however, a bit boring for Forza Horizon. And we've got the Zero Uno. I guess with that out of the way, let's go bang out 50% and we should be back in like 5 minutes. A solid 5 minutes later, would you look at that? 50% on the winter season completed. The Toyota 2000 GT. We've officially got 5 different Toyotas in this game. They're looking good. All very unique in their own right. I love these things. Anyways, this thing, the Toyota 2000 GT, is gonna be D-Class. It's rear-wheel drive. Yo, it's got a value of 750K. It's actually not that bad on speed or the launch for a D-Class car. That's probably because it only weighs 2,500 pounds. It's got a cool little inline 6. It's got 150 horsepower. Basically, like a really, really good car for the 1960s/70s. It gets cool points because, yeah, it's got pop-up headlights. I don't actually know if it comes across on camera just how small this car actually is. So I think that's got to be the first thing that we showcase with this. Those are pretty good pops and crackles. What? That is so sick. Okay, this would be a good test. That is a... Forza Horizon 4 is a great game with no obvious flaws. I think it's a pretty well-known fact that minis are pretty small cars, right? Take a look at the height difference between these two things. Look at it from that side. It makes the Mini look like a boat. The 2000 GT is a tiny, tiny little vehicle. Anyways, before I tell you more about it, why don't we go and start up a little bit of a race with this thing? Where have we not gone in a little... Oh, no way. I'm ripping it around with a wide-body MX-5. Hello. Anyway, so I think when you're smaller than a little MX-5, it goes to show just how small this car actually is. For those of you who don't know, this little thing, the Toyota 2000 GT, was famously used as a James Bond car. It was driven around by none other than Sean Connery. And Sean Connery, he's actually not the biggest dude out there. He's like, oh, he's only 6'2", nothing crazy. Being 6'2", he wouldn't actually fit in the thing. So what was Toyota's answer and James Bond's answer? Well, they chopped the roof off. Now, that might sound like a pretty easy thing to do. Toyota makes a lot of cars. Putting a convertible roof on a car isn't the most difficult thing. If you did that today, it would be like basically the equivalent of chopping the roof off a Lexus LFA. Back in the day, Toyota only built 350 of these things. And then for James Bond, they cut the roof off of 2 of them. And even saying that, Toyota, for every single one they sold, the same thing as the Lexus LFA, they lost money on every single one they sold. Anyways, in terms of Forza Horizon 4, as you can probably tell, it's pretty easy to drive. I love me a little lightweight sports car to rip it around. So this is like really resonating with me. Being able to just go into a corner and chuck it sideways, even with only 150 horsepower. It's incredible. They actually used to race these things back in the day. Carroll Shelby actually had 2 of them. This is like a proper driver's car though. If you could drive this thing quickly, you were pretty fast. Why don't we take the little 2000 GT back to the festival? Let's do some upgrades to it. Moment of truth for the Toyota 2000 GT. Let's take a look at those engine swaps available. We've got our little 2-liter with 150 horsepower. It's not bad. It works pretty well. We've got a 3.2 straight 6.2-liter V8, a straight 4 rally engine, as well as a 5.2-liter V12. So we don't have a 2JZ in here. I think somebody's playing a mean joke on us right now. Like, don't get me wrong, the engines that we got are gonna make this thing really fast. This is a Toyota. Where's my 2JZ, yo? Like I said, we're gonna do a couple of different builds with this thing. Why don't we start it out like this with a BMW engine, and then we'll come back and crank the thing up, turn it to 11, and try to make it go as fast as possible with the V12. If that's going to be the case, let's keep it rear-wheel drive. Let's also toss on a little single turbo on the thing. Yo, we've actually got body mods on it. I would assume, yeah, we can remove the front bumper on here and remove the ugly US spec rear bumper again. Thank you very much. I think we'll try to aim to toss this thing in like A class for the moment. The 2000 GT's rocking 165 rear tire with stock. I think it makes sense why this thing was sliding around so much now. We've also got the good old-fashioned engine spacers. They could be a little bit more aggressive, but I will gladly take it. Yes, we've got drift suspension. Look at that, yo. We'll rock race suspension for the moment. I don't think that's gonna be too bad. We weigh only 2,000 pounds in this thing. We've got nearly 500 horsepower. We're rear-wheel drive. This thing might be a really fun car to rip it around in. I'm not actually sure what color we should paint this thing. Like, in real life, the majority of these things are actually white or red. Yellow's not a bad color as well. Oh, the matte, like, gray green. Really cool. Twitch chat is literally going off the charts with the spam for this color. Oh, I mean, okay, sure. I'll be blatantly honest. I love me a good BMW. Hello, old JDM crew. Look what I just rolled up in. Hello? That's so sick. I was too busy looking at my new friends. Unbeatable difficulty, rocking a Toyota from way back in the day. This is gonna be pretty difficult. It gets a little bit of wheel spin, but not bad. I think the one downside for this, though... Okay, coming through. Sorry. I think, though, the one downside for this car is that you can't fit very thick tires to it because, like I was saying, a genuinely small car, you physically don't have room for a lot of rubber back there. This is serious business now. I don't even know what car is in first, but I want to take this man down. Look on the mini-map. He's so far away. Okay, I'm not gonna do it if I'm sliding, pulling lines like that. Closing in a little bit. I think that's an Aston Martin all the way up there. Come on. Oh, this is gonna be close. Oh, we're so close. Come on. No, get him. Get the Aston. Round the outside. The Toyota is gonna do it. Smoke it up. Oh, what a thing. What a machine. Oh, I love it. Well, there you have it. Confirmed Toyota 2000 GT greater than an Aston Martin DB4 and an E-Type. I think now I want to try to just kind of see what this thing can do. So that's going to mean big ol' V12 in this thing, as well as all-wheel drive. Take a look at that acceleration in the launch. I'm even going to go as far as tossing on a race front bumper and even a rear wing on this thing. I mean, we saw how slidey it was already. We're gonna want a hell of a lot of grip. Let's go with race tires. After looking at all of these upgrades, this engine is not the call. The V12 is way too big, it's way too heavy, and can't even build that much horsepower. 750 horsepower? No way. I apologize sincerely, but I'm gonna need to swap a V8 into this thing. Okay, so now after all of our upgrades with a V8 swapped in, we've got 1,000 horsepower. I would like to apologize, like I said, for this, but I'm really hold on. Here, wait, I'll make this better, okay? Here you go. 3, 2, 1, and improved now. This is just a better way to drive this car now. I'm sorry. We're on the hardest difficulty. We've got our maxed out 2000 GT. I'm genuinely shook by the Baja trucks. However, I am lighter than... Hold on. Trying to make it through. They're all over the place, these guys. But look at the... Jesus. Okay, now, what was I saying? Back to the 2000 GT. It feels really good to drive with the V8 in it. The V8 is a cardinal sin out here, 100%. I can definitely tell you it lacks some grip just because those tires aren't thick enough. But its lightweight makes up for it. Being like 2,000 pounds, you can absolutely send it on things. I'm ripping it up, sending it past Supras. Nah, this thing's a beast. Yo, look at the speed. 190, 200 miles an hour across the line. Look at it. It's like scraping the ground. It's so low. Look at that. We've destroyed Supras. We've destroyed the Baja trucks. I think legitimately they all flipped upside down. I came in knowing that you're a really good car for me. Was kind of let down by the engine swaps. I got to admit, a 2JZ in this thing would be amazing. Playground games, if you're watching this for whatever reason, please give us a 2JZ for this thing. After all of that, though, I think I gotta say this, and the Toyota 2000 GT is cooler than the Toyota 86. I'm sorry. Please don't hurt me.